Hey, yo, good people, it's your man EG with the EG My Journey podcast. And we are here today with a very, very special person, very, very special guest, another good friend of mine. I know I always say they're my friends and my brothers, but I'm telling the truth. They really are, right? So keep it locked, keep it right here, and we'll be right with you. All right, people, in the building today, we got none other than Mr. Rasheed Salahuddin. Yep, that's Mr. Rasheed Salahuddin in the building. The networking genius, the networking giant. Got some great things to talk about, some great things that we're going to push forward. And he's going to tell you a little bit about him. Remember, we've been talking about the health journey, and we're going to get some of his on today. So let's get right on into it. I don't know why my mic sounds like that, but that's okay. We're gonna get right into it. Again, people, I've been talking about my journey most of all. And here's the time where I really want to separate my journey from you just hearing about me to hearing about somebody else. Rasheed and I have been knowing each other somewhere since probably the mid 90s. I was in school with his brother Obey. He was with me in 1992. And when did you graduate?
95.
95. Goodness. Yeah. So we've been knowing each other for quite some time. So let me give you my little spiel about this man right here. He's always been a giant in his love for people. He's always he's never been afraid to try anything and make things happen. And that's one of the things that really inspired me about you. Coming up, and I know that some people might say, well, that sounds crazy. You're older than him. That doesn't mean anything. Anybody can inspire anybody. We've done a couple things out in the market that's the same. We kind of have the same spirit as far as when it is being fearless and putting our feet and our hands to things. And again, those things inspire me. But I'll go right into something that really, really inspired me. I remember, I don't know how long ago it was. I know it was probably before pandemic. Well, I know it was before pandemic. But when you went on that journey, the body sculpting journey, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
When he said, I'm in this type of shape, and he showed everybody, and then he said, give me this much time, and I'm gonna get back in shape or whatever. And that was crazy to me because he gave you he let you see the before, and then it was the after. Not just that, but then when he went on this to become this the manifestation of this marketing guru that he is, he made it a point to post every single day. And he said, I'm gonna post every single day. And I guess you were learning whatever you needed to learn. Am I right?
Correct. Accountability. So then if I believe it,
yeah,
whenever I make it to my destination and you can see, then I'm credible, because I can say, well, look, I showed you when I had no money, or I showed you when I was in this shape, because I already saw myself to my destination. You didn't see it, but I just wanted you to know that I left some instructions behind.
And the good thing about that is and I love when people do things like that, because what that shows me is that the vision that's in front, you're giving people the opportunity to see it, but you already saw it.
Correct.
It's already done. It's just now you're working into the manifestation of that vision.
Correct.
Just like where you are now, being this marketing guru, which is also taking him into places that has manifested without him even trying to manifest some things. Rasheed is the what is it? The media.
So I have a contract with Jefferson Parish, in particular, Councilman Byron Lee in District 3, where I do digital media and for the parish. So it was a position that was, I guess it was a groundbreaking position. They didn't really have that position before. Think of it, right?
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. I mean, that might seem simple to some, but I mean, you think about it. So tell me a little bit about what you got going on.
Okay, well, I have diabetes.
Yeah.
So I wear a monitor, so it's a sensor. So I have a new sensor that I just plugged in about 3 hours ago, and it takes about 3 hours to calibrate.
Gotcha.
Once the sensor calibrates, it tells me to test my blood sugar because now I have to give it a more update, accurate reading of my blood sugar. So it's notifying me that I got to test my blood sugar. I could just keep hitting the button and telling it
No, man,
no,
no time like the
but
present.
but
Hey, look, that's what we're here for. That's the purpose. And I'm telling you, we're talking about manifestation, exactly what we're here for, to talk about this journey, Rasheed's health journey. So somebody out there can be blessed. It's right in front of us now. So ain't no punking, ain't no chumping. This is real time, and it's happening.
I guess I don't know. I guess all my life I would just avoid. I'd be nervous and scared to have to pull this out. Now
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, bro, look,
It is what it is. I got
it
to
is what
live.
it is. But most of my life, I would be fearful to, feel like I look like I'm weird, right? Like, what is this dude doing? Just be sticking blood. It just looked
Right.
weird. People would always question, but I'd always try to hide and do it. Or I have to go to I'm 120. What did ET say 120?
That's
huh?
good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
120.
perfect.
That's perfect.
I'm on 120.
What?
That's perfect.
Get out.
Yeah.
So look, let me jump into this part. I love this portion of this segue that's going to. So he just tested his blood due to his diabetes, and he is perfect right now. That is amazing. Again, that is the most.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
That's why. All right, hey, bro, I'll take it.
This is gonna be a magical interview.
But look, check this out. Look at him. I mean, look at him. Like, really, he looks as if he's the picture of health, and in essence, he is. But there are things that's going on in the bodies that don't dictate how we look on the outside. Look at me. Nobody would know that I'm going through a severe blood cancer by looking at me. If you see me on the street, you wouldn't have a clue. You know what I'm saying? And you wouldn't have a clue about Rasheed. I had no clue. And I've been knowing this cat for, again, many, many, many moons, many years. And I had no clue. And I asked him about being on the show, and he broke it down to me. He sent me a picture with him and the monitors on his stomach. And I'm like, whoa, you would never know. The dude got like a 6-pack, and I got a cake. You know what I'm saying? But my point in saying that is that look at the universe sharing itself with us. So if you don't mind, give us a little bit about your journey as it relates to your diabetes.
So I was in the Marine Corps in 1998.
Yep.
And one day I was not feeling so well, so I went to the hospital. I scheduled a doctor's appointment, and they said that I was losing energy. I needed to eat more green because my vitamin D or something like
Gotcha.
that was low. So I tried that, and after like a week or so, I kept losing weight and feeling fatigued. I had to use the bathroom a lot.
Mhm.
So I ended up, my vision got blurry one night where that I just had to drive myself to the emergency room.
Yeah.
And they checked me in, and my blood sugar might have been 653 or something. So mine was just 120, which is
And
perfect. So
653.
yeah, at that point, you could convulge, or you could like have a brain aneurysm or something like
Oh,
that.
wow.
So, people do die every day of things like that. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
come to think of it, I'm lucky to be here. I'm blessed to be here. I was supposed to be here.
Absolutely.
So I checked myself in. They diagnosed me as an insulin dependent diabetic. So within 10 months or so, I was released, retired, medically retired from the Marine Corps.
Mhm.
And then I moved back to New Orleans from San Diego, where I was living at the time, which I thought that was the place that I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I was probably more disappointed that I had to leave San Diego than having diabetes.
Yeah, I could dig it. San Diego's beautiful.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how I was first diagnosed. And from there, it's been a up and down journey. I've probably had over 100 diabetic seizures where that if I'm talking to you,
Wow.
I would just like my blood sugar would drop. And at that point, it's unconscious. I've wrecked the car a couple of times.
Mhm.
I've never actually got hurt or actually had any actual major accidents, but one time I was driving on the interstate. I don't know how, but I ended up doing donuts on the interstate and busting all 4 tires and without getting hit.
Whoa.
Yeah, like so I done did a lot of like just where that I was unconscious, but I never ran into a car or
Yeah.
anything, but I was
Covered.
unconscious driving just like you know, like trying to come back to consciousness
Mhm.
and I never ran into anything.
So
Yeah.
what are you classified as? What type of diabetic?
So type 1 is where that it's genetics. So they say,
Okay.
genetics meaning type 2 is where that technically you have diabetic traits, but diet and exercise could help prevent it or could help slow it down. So
Gotcha.
you take a pill to maintain it. In my case, my pancreas does not produce insulin, therefore I have to wear insulin pump in order to give my body insulin.
So it doesn't produce insulin at all?
At all.
Really?
Yep.
And so this is what? Is this something that's lifelong, or is it something that could be not prevented, but is there a curative to it?
I could get a new pancreas, so I could get a pancreas transplant. That's newer.
Yeah.
It's not as they don't have as much research as it as other transplants.
Of
But
course.
I could bet on that. Or man, hey, like me having diabetes, I had to have diabetes for some divine purpose.
I agree.
Maybe it made me a little more conscious and aware of my health and fitness. I don't know that I'd be as healthy without diabetes. I might have just been like, so whatever God gave me, I just like there's something to learn from everything. So I've come to the believe that like everything has an equal. So the laws of polarity. So
Yeah.
I got diabetes. I need to look inside myself and then explore inside myself. What do I need to learn from what I have?
Yeah.
And then so how can I use that to help other people? Because outside of that, I'm kind of being selfish. Like, man, look, why'd I get it? Like, why'd I not run off the road them 100 diabetic seizures?
It wasn't for you.
Yeah.
But what's for you is for you. So just like you're saying, you having diabetes, hey, at this point, it's a part of your journey. And again, that's what this is about. That's what this show is about. Giving people portions of our journey that they might be in a good place. So as far as it relates to your health, how are you doing now? Of course, we just saw you check your
Blood sugar.
Okay. We saw you check that and it is perfect. So other than that, how's your daily function?
About when the Hurricane Ida hit, some kind of way, this is something weird, but I sneezed.
Yeah.
I was in Houston, Texas at my sister's house and I sneezed and I didn't want to sneeze on everybody. So I tried to hold in my sneeze. Now I probably held in my sneeze a bunch of times in my life.
Right.
I can think of many of times, but this one was so explosive that it like like I jerked my chest and I hurt my chest by doing it.
Yeah.
And it was like man, I'm not about to be hurt sneezing. I'm not going to get that checked out. Like that's going to go away.
You're such a chump.
Yeah,
You're such a chump.
Like,
sneezing and getting hurt.
Yeah, so literally, I guess maybe note to others like whatever it is, get it checked out. It's not worth sitting on. So I sat on it for like 9 or 10 months, and finally, about a month and a half ago, I got myself checked out. They did a stress test. They hooked me up to all kind of machines to try. I had to run on a incline treadmill, and they had to monitor how long I could stay on an incline treadmill. So, but I couldn't work out, and I can't work out yet until I'm officially cleared. And then I have like something that happened to my finger, which I don't know what happened, but I have like a tingling in my left arm. So, aside from that, I was like the board of health and fitness. Like,
Right. Right,
you
right,
know.
right.
So since then, I haven't. It's been about 3 months since I haven't been able to work out. About 2 months since I haven't been able to work out at all.
Mhm.
Like when I ride the bike, my hand will start hurting and like like it's kind of like losing feeling almost. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm trying to tough it out, but I can't
Right.
work out.
Nah, man, get
And with
that
the
checked
thing in the
out.
chest, it was starting to hurt when I would do stuff. I'm trying to macho it out, but
Right. No, it's
yeah,
listen, people, it's not worth it. Whatever comes up, go and get it checked out. It is important. I let, and I've said this before in podcasts, I let some of those same symptoms like the numbness of the hand and the feeling going away in the hand. I kind of ignored it for a little bit. And here it comes after this. I have a major episode where I have to go to the hospital and stay into the hospital. And that's what, of course, when we went on that portion of the journey, starting to find out about the myelofibrosis that I have, that rare blood cancer. And it was just, I don't know if I could have avoided it.
perfect.
So at any rate, it is very, very, very important for us to uh, get these things checked out and make sure you go into these to the doctors. Make sure you tune in with your primary care physicians, man, and get these checkups. My wife, we talked about in episode 1, my wife went for her first mammogram and found out she had breast cancer. And lo and behold, she had to have a mastectomy. She did a double mastectomy, and it's not excessive because it was necessary.
Right.
So, again, I can't say enough for getting there and getting these things done.
What I'm gonna say is gonna be kind of maybe seem weird to other people, right?
Okay.
But like I challenge my mind to think as everything that has happened to me had to have happened in order for me to be here.
I
Because
agree.
every day we see people who everybody doesn't make it to live to see another day. But the people that pass, a lot of times it's by accidental things,
Mhm.
They didn't wake up thinking today will be their last day,
No.
right? So
I mean, who does?
nobody, except for maybe people who do the,
They might
they're
expect
102 or whatever.
they might expect it, but
right,
I still don't know.
right. So I challenged myself
Mhm.
to think that every single thing was supposed to happen. Remember the law of polarity, meaning I'm here right now.
Yeah.
Well, this might seem kind of crazy, right? But like Google says the universe has been around for billions of years.
That's right.
All right. So if that's true, then I was reading this book. It's called The Power of Now. And
Yeah.
our overall involvement in the entire universe, if it's been around for billions of years,
Yeah.
is as important as a drop of water dropping on a flower.
Dig that.
So, meaning, bro, if you're here,
Mhm.
like you supposed to be here to see something, to do something, to
That's right.
learn something, and to move forward. Because if not, I could have just made you that drop of water.
Exactly.
So I'm like, well,
It's designed. I'm here in this form
yeah,
and not the form of that drop.
yeah, because like, so me saying that something should have went different is almost being rude to God and saying you should have made
Absolutely.
something different, God. Man, look, you should have had it set up like this. God, like I could have made you that drop of water.
And then he could be like, boom, now you're a drop of water.
Yeah, now you're drop. Because like we walk out of here and step on an ant or like, man, I ain't worried about that.
Exactly.
But like that was a part of creation. And it's like, hey, I could get hurt just like I could see the fly get hurt or the ant get hurt and he
Right.
didn't die. But I'm like, well, that probably happened to me. Fortunately for me, I live in a world where I could go get that checked out.
Right.
Like if I'm a part of creation, then like I'm one of the more fortunate.
That's right. That's
So
right.
I'm like, well, I'm gonna take advantage of everything that the universe or God has allowed us to see.
Right.
But then I'm like, well, hold up. I might have some creation in my mind too. Somebody created this dashboard and some of this stuff. And then
That's right.
I'm like, well, hold up. Does some of that exist inside of me? So then now I have to say, well, everything had to happen. Diabetes had to happen.
Yeah.
Everything had to happen for me to grow into my conscious awareness to be able to see a good in everything that I might have looked at as a bad.
Right. If you just take a knife and you cut your arm, right, and you don't do anything to it, what happens?
You're gonna bleed out.
Well, no, actually, you'll
Oh,
bleed, but your body takes and it
heals it.
clots and it
Heals
heals.
itself. Right.
Right. Now think about the power that is. Now, if you cut your carotid or something, you done.
Right.
You over.
Right.
But think about the power that's inside of this body that will automatically begin upon the cut, begin to heal itself
Correct.
because it bleeds, it covers, and then when you wipe it, you know how when you wipe that blood and all you see is the blood on the cut.
Yep.
That's those organisms and minerals and deposits that are going to do their job. That's the power that we have on the inside of us to heal us.
Correct. I agree. I hit both of them real quick. There's a guy that I've been studying. His name is Dr. Myron Golden, and he says that the purpose of learning is not necessarily perfection. He said the purpose of learning is mastery.
Oh,
Where
that's
that
good.
It's unconscious competence. So where that your body does it before your mind even thinks, because the body is the unconscious mind. So if I train my mind to think to do these things, then my body just do it. You trained your mind to think I'm gonna shoot this podcast, so your body does the things to book interviews, line up.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
that's dope.
Yeah. So,
And
but it's mastery. Myron Golden, Dr. Myron Golden.
Dr.
He said
Myron Golden.
The purpose of learning is mastery.
That's dope.
Yeah. So you're like, man, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna read this thing real quick and learn how the switchboard works so I can get to this, get this money. He said, no, it's mastering. Why they put this? Like you take some time to think, and then you look at it from a different perspective, and now your creativity is more elevated because you didn't just say, man, I'm gonna put this thing together now, give me some money. Now you really dissect. Why I put it like that? And then you can look into that person's creativity and start to bring out more of your own creativity.
Right. That is crazy, son. That's nuts. But it's those type of things that give us for me that really amps me up to be more productive on this life journey, on this life train. You know, if I, and again, I think it's like you said, it is divinely ordained. It's you know, it's where we're supposed to be. Because I mean, again, if I had not gone through the health challenges that I had gone through,
right,
or that I'm going through, then who knows where I'd be? Not just me, but where my mentality would be.
Correct.
You know, because my mentality may be all screwed up.
Correct.
You know, I may not even know that I'm not on track.
Right.
Without adversity.
Correct. Yeah, it helps us learn. So it's a blessing, because it's like, I said, what if just imagine everything that happened to you was supposed to happen that way and supposed to be, because it's just our choice to decide one way or the other.
Exactly. And it is I think it is the consciousness that we have in these journeys, right? Because somebody could be going through the same thing but not see the same thing.
Correct.
Somebody can be going through something similar but not have the same revelation. I think that's always what it is. You know, our revelations are different, and it just depends on how we react to what we get. There's nothing or nobody that can tell me that I'm gonna be completely cured. Right. There is nothing that would make me believe that I won't be completely cured, and I'll be able to tell you guys that I'm cancer free.
Correct. You've already claimed it.
Exactly.
Right.
And I saw it. You know, it's the difference between seeing something and sawing it. Meaning, I saw it. It's now past tense, but I'm waiting on the manifestation.
That, like,
and you know, and what do you do in the meantime when you're waiting to die? You know, one of my favorite quotes comes from a movie, which is my favorite movie of all time. It is Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
And the line is, I think it's Morgan Freeman tells Tim Robbins, I think it's his name, who's the main character. He was talking about being in prison. He was wrongfully is a white guy who was wrongfully prisoned for killing his wife, and he literally didn't do it, and he was really upset for a couple years. He's in prison for life, right? So it goes by like it's no time. And Morgan Freeman tells him, he says this one line that really changed my life and it helped me in my journey. And it was, get busy living or get busy dying. He said, you got one or two choices.
Right.
He said, you in here. You either gonna get busy living or you gonna get busy dying. And dude, I live my life by that quote. I don't know who wrote it,
Right.
but shout out to them.
Right.
Because that was fire.
That's true. It's like I have one that's similar, and it says every single person is exactly where they're supposed to be.
Word up.
Because if that weren't true, then you go somewhere else. You go to another place in your mind to think of better things that'll bring new thoughts to you. That's why they say the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. So what the guy in the Shawshank Redemption movie was saying is get busy living. It doesn't matter where you're at physically in the world.
It does not matter.
Wherever you're at in the mindset of happiness, joy, peace, abundance, like rightfully purposed, is the place to get to.
That's right.
Because if you're like right now, in my mind, I'm happy and healthy, but I haven't physically been able to work out
right
for about a month and a half now, but that don't change how I feel about me being strong.
That's right.
If you used to say, man, bro, if you used to say something happened where that me and you needed to lift this thing up or lift the car up outside, I'd run out there and lift it up.
No doubt.
So like I have all the power I need right now.
Absolutely.
But I am being smart about some things in my body where that if it feels that is aching, I don't have to be macho man, and that the physical body doesn't last forever, because I promise you, I've done the things that I got hurt doing. I've done them 1,000 times as a younger person.
Tens of thousands.
What the thing that was hurting my chest, it started to recede, and I started to feel better.
Right.
And last week, a fly was in a room, and Cheryl was like, "Get the fly." I was like, Mr. Miyagi. And I hurt my chest
again.
I'm like,
I can't believe you told me to get that.
You hurt your chest sneezing and trying to kill a fly, like,
and then you got a fly putting you in a clinch and a chokehold.
But nevertheless, still, I tell myself I'm happy and healthy every day. Anyway, and then I move around life. I feel happy and healthy because I tell myself I'm happy and healthy.
That's right. And listen, also to all of my viewers and listeners, y'all heard him say it. I didn't say it. So if you listen to the podcast with Sean Snyder,
say what?
I'm gonna tell you. That means you got to take a shot right now. Take a shot. He said those words. I didn't. I got my boy clowned me because I had been saying nevertheless a lot. And he said, you know what? We're going to make this a drinking game. Every time he said nevertheless, y'all drink. So he was on live at the time. And the show just aired. So he was on live at the time. It was hilarious.
Check this out. I've been training my brain and my mind. So if you say nevertheless, I've been training my brain to not close a sentence without me winning. So anything bad, if I got diabetes and I got one day to live or whatever, and I'm on my deathbed, if I get hit by a car and I'm like, I'll be like, hey, nevertheless, man, I lived a good life.
There you go.
Like I'm not going to leave a sentence and say, man, what I probably should have done was like, I can't prove that, but I can prove I am here right now.
That's right.
And looking forward to the future, it look amazing.
That's it.
So yeah, so like you just said, nevertheless, like I've been training myself to every single sentence, but guess what? I'm being kind to myself with my words now.
That's right.
So, well, of course,
kind and conscious.
Like a lot of times we expect people on the outside to treat us good, but unfortunately, we treat ourselves, man, you should have you man, you knew you wasn't gonna get up. We beat ourselves up
Yeah.
all day and then expect other people not to beat us up. We're actually manifesting being beat up by our own
And,
self.
and we get into that when somebody else is beating us up, we want to take offense.
Right.
But you've given them authority to beat you up because that's what you do.
Right.
And like you said, we manifest those things, and that's what we have to bring about. We gotta be good to ourselves. You know, people think a lot of times now, because I used to beat myself up all the time. I'll be honest with you. But people think now when I say something, let's say this podcast, I always say, we are here where we are, but I want to get better. You know,
Right.
and that should always be our placement, our junction.
Correct.
I want to get better. You know, I had a friend of mine yesterday. Ro said, "Man, stop beating yourself up, man." And I had to explain that I'm not beating myself up. I know we're doing something productive. We're doing a good thing. But I just want to get better. I want to get better every day for you people, and for us. I want to be a better host. I want to be a better everything that I do. Better father, better husband. All those things. Better friend. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Actually, it's our duty and our obligation and our responsibility.
Word up.
So, like, you're a parent, so
Mhm.
therefore, like, it's our obligation to move the family as far
Yeah.
as we possibly can, where that they're able to experience new things. Because if we all just do the same things, like, it takes longer for our uh, grandkids and our lineage to get ahead. Because if my grandfather, for example, was just a carpenter, and so this is not judging any profession, but let's say, for
Right.
example, my grandfather was a carpenter, his dad was a carpenter, my dad became a carpenter, he taught me carpentry, and then I teach my kids carpentry.
Right.
So we all like stay at making let's say a decent living, let's say $75,000 or $100,000.
Yeah.
But let's say that we don't look at technology and see, how could I cut these cameras? I see these people cutting the cameras on, and then now they putting up recordings. People go and watch the recordings, and now income is being generated from people watching the recordings.
Right.
And he had to do the thing once, but it got viewed over and over and over.
Right. Right.
Well, if me and you don't decide to figure out how some of that stuff works, and we just say, well, man, I'm about to try to figure that out.
I'm gonna just leave it to what it is.
I'm gonna just leave it to what it is. Then our kids have less of an opportunity to learn because they don't see what we're learning, right? Your son is a genius when it comes to videography.
Okay.
Well, my son is a genius because of some of the things that he's watching me do. Your son is a genius.
Yeah.
Well, where do you think you got it from? He's watching you do that. If you was just watching whoever else doing, just, man, let him just see the government, man, they should have seen what they shouldn't have did. They shouldn't have. If you was just doing that, he would not have an example to see.
Real.
So you being your best, if you don't, then you leave him with less to know how to do.
That's right. That's right. And you're right about it. It's our jobs, man. It's our duties. And to kind of segue back to go a little bit backwards, man. This dude's dad, I'm gonna put a picture up of his dad. This dude's dad is probably he's an inspiration to so many people. He looks phenomenal. He's like 139. How old's your dad?
He's 83.
83. And look at this picture. This picture is crazy. You think this is 89? Does this look like 89? No way, Jose. But at any rate, and you brought up these boys of ours. There's a show that I would really love to do. I saw the post that you put up with Larizi. Larizi's his son. He's an artist. I could call him a rapper, but he's so much more than that, man. He is so special. And I think if you see and catch his content, and I'll put his content up right now. I'll put his social platforms up right now just so you can go ahead and check him out. And but just by seeing it, go check him out. Tune in, like, subscribe, do whatever you got to do. Be a part of what he's got going on. It's special. I mean, it's really, really special. And you want to be able to see this journey come to fruition. This kid is amazing. And I'm not talking about his rap, or because he's a good rapper, man. He's great. He's, he's phenomenal if you ask me. But I'm talking about the overall, um, his overall embodiment of being a man, being a young man, growing into a man, and he's so protective of what he does and how he does it, and it's always for someone else and for something else. I mean, I promise you. Check this out. You don't want to miss it. As well as Rasheed's here's his social platforms, as well as every place and everything you can check him out on, from Facebook to Instagram to, you have a TikTok,
Yes.
and the TikTok, it's all posted right here. Uh, so check all of that stuff out. It's absolutely amazing. That's where I connect myself with great people. You know, one thing that I found is that it, you want to think everybody thinks like you.
Correct.
You want to have the feeling that everybody has this certain feeling that you have about them,
Correct.
about you. And I've learned the hard way that everybody does not feel about you the way you feel.
Correct.
And at some points and sometimes that's kind of, it'll break your heart,
Correct.
and you have to get into this place. Well, let me say this. I had to get into this place where I had to get into where I didn't care about how they felt about me, and I had to stand on how I feel about them. And I said that for this purpose. Um, I know this brother loves me, right?
Yep.
It don't matter what time or what's going on. If I call him, he gonna pick up the phone every single time.
Yep.
And if it's ever, I don't even ever remember a time where you're not picking up the phone, even if it was accidental, whatever.
Correct.
But if so, man, he makes sure he get back and call me. And that sounds simple to some folk, man, but that is huge. I shared with my boy Sean, who was on, Sean Snyder of Jarware. I shared with him that when I was in the hospital, and I think I shared with you, there was maybe one or two people I made the call to, man, and that I was like, man, look, I need to see you. I need your energy. And they didn't come. And it took until now, which is more than a year later that I've been out of the hospital. It took until now for me to really realize that I was hurt by that.
Right.
I'm off track. And because of that, I don't throw them away. I think it behooves me to let them know.
Right.
If I love you the way that I love you, I got to come to you and let you know and give you the opportunity, and with this brother, I've never had to do that. And when I tell you never, it has been since I've been knowing him, that anytime I make the phone call, he pick up the phone. And likewise, anytime I see Rasheed's number come up, hey, I'm picking that phone up, or I'm calling. It used to be because I'm like, all right, what we got going on now? What's new? Because that's what we were doing at the time.
Right.
We were doing things like Primerica. Did you do Primerica?
I signed up, but I couldn't pass the insurance test.
Hey man, listen, I get it.
I would have.
But that Amway, all those businesses like the network marketing,
Yeah.
where we were into. We've done them all.
Yeah.
We've done them all, and it has had reasonable success doing them.
Yep. Hold on. If you call me and say, I think I found the one.
yeah. I think I got it, player. Look, and then come to find out it's the same old. Anyway, we ain't gonna dog them.
Right.
Letting people do what they do.
Yeah. I love it. I actually learned, man, it's like a university. It was my actual university, and I learned how to do a lot of stuff because of so-called failures through that process. But I was able to learn a lot. Again, I was telling you that I try to use everything as I have to flip this to work in my favor.
That's right.
I actually created my own mental processing system.
Okay.
The super system. So every time, like, let's say that you have a scenario where you're dealing with, you felt that somebody um, you know, they should have done something
Right. Yeah.
another way, right? So it's like I retract and then I look at myself and I say, S, state your objective. So you're Rasheed.
Hmm.
What's your objective?
Right.
So if my objective is to live a life of happiness,
Hmm.
peacefulness, and abundance,
Yeah.
like I don't want to think of what I don't want. Man, I don't want them to be, man, I can't believe they. So I would
Right.
say, I am so. So I make an affirmation. So I take
Gotcha.
any problem that I have and I put an S and it'll say, state your objective. So
Hmm.
then I have to write out an affirmation. And so I have to, because it's my responsibility to fix everything.
Yeah.
So then I say, I am.
Hmm.
So words of affirmation. I am so happy, thankful, and grateful that I have a happy, productive, prosperous relationship with every single human being on the planet. Because, well, I don't have time to be having no beef because I got a lot of stuff to do.
No time.
No time. So then now I claim that I only have happy relationships.
Yeah.
That's the S.
Yeah.
So I say the S and then I say why. So I have to say why. So I have to say the affirmation. And the reason is because I'm able to be more productive. I'm able to do more for myself, my family, and the world if I'm in a happier place of being.
That's fire. I got to give him a round of applause on that one. That was crazy.
The U, S-U,
Yeah.
understand the obstacles that's blocking me from getting to my destination. So if it's, I'm beefing with this dude, I'm beefing with that person.
Yeah.
So the U is write down what's really going on. So, man, I feel like this because of this with this person. So that's an obstacle. So with the system, it is impossible for me to force anyone else to do anything outside of their out. I can't make them think like this.
That's
It's
right.
impossible.
Right.
So therefore, what is possible is to change how I think. So that person, then I can't, like I have to only affirm positive for them then.
Right.
I'm so happy, thankful, and grateful that I have a happy and harmonious relationship with Todd because I can't make them change.
Right.
But I can decide for me to change. So the U is understand the obstacles. So if I say that that's the obstacle, well, I'm kind of like having some conflict with this person. The S is, USUP is package and present your plan. So every obstacle that I have in a U, I have to have a solution for that. So if I say, I don't like such and such because of whatever.
Yeah.
And so in the P, because this is my plan. Because if I say, well, I don't want to have to apologize, I don't want to have to call this person, or I don't want to have to affirm positive for them. One thing that nobody else needs, like that person, like if nobody does anything, you could affirm positively.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
Like,
Right.
there's nothing that could stop you from affirming positively for that person.
Wow.
Because they're only where they're at because of how they think. Maybe their mama raised them and they was like thought that way. Like we're only where we at because of how we think. Then you show up and say, you should change. But now at that point, you're a critic.
Man.
But you can't make them change.
You can't.
But maybe you could pray for them.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have a better philosophy so that you could fix all the problems just like I could. And like, well, what I have to think past them and think, how could I have a solution for everything then? Well, if I do this super thing, then it'll reroute everything.
Yeah.
Because I can't make somebody else do anything. Therefore, well, why would I say they should do this?
Right.
I
Right.
can't physically make them.
Right.
And so now I'm using my time, like they said in the Shawshank Redemption book, Just Start Living. I'm taking my time to go say why they should have done whatever they done, but I'm not taking my time to go live the highest that I could live.
Wow.
That makes sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Because I can't control what they do, no matter what they do.
You can't.
But I can control what I do. So I'm guarantee you I'm gonna be happy. Well, I could guarantee my own happiness because I could just decide.
Yeah.
So if somebody running here and kicking the door and bust me upside the head, like, hey, I was supposed to learn something to be able to have a better way to solve a problem. That's how businesses were come about. Man, you know what? I'm gonna get some bars. I'm gonna get a bigger house. I'm gonna get a gun or whatever.
Door. Yeah.
I'm gonna take karate.
Dogs. Yeah.
Dogs. Right. And all of that businesses become because people see a problem. So I'll be looking inside of every problem, anything.
How do I solve the problem?
How do I solve the problem? You know, like I was listening to an interview with the dude Wall Street Trapper.
Yeah.
And he was saying that our words are powerful. So
Absolutely.
like he said that when he would, let's say like I'm walking past a guy, right?
Mhm.
And then he said, if I say yeah, he said, I say yeah. What's happening? So you know how we I say what's
Right,
happening?
right.
Like, what happening? What's happening can mean a million different things.
A million
I
different
can say,
things.
man, what's happening, brother?
Yeah,
Hey, keep it on.
that's different.
Whoa, man, what's happening?
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
You say that. I had a buddy who told me a story about him um, in New York. He was a sports anchor for Fox here, and he was in New York I think he was in Manhattan, and he was walking across the street, and it looked like another brother was coming directly towards him, and he did what we do in the South, and he said, "What's up?" And the brother said, "What you mean, what's up? What's up with you?" And he got real rugged.
Right.
And it was based on, of course, his culture being from the East Coast, but more or less that he didn't understand where we were.
Right.
And there was no ill significance behind it because he took it as fisticuffs. Like, let's get to it.
Right.
Like, what's happening?
Right.
And that just reminded me of that.
Yeah, and is that in all actuality, sometimes it's the energy that we move around in.
Yeah.
We consider those things to be things that, as a person, like could be an opposition to us. So we have to take them into consideration. So, but in that case, yeah, it's us who decided to
It's on us.
assume that.
Absolutely.
Now we could still maybe practice being defensive,
Yeah.
but maybe not. I ain't gonna. I don't know what. Like I'm in somebody else's city. Like, I don't know what they might.
I
do.
mean, what do we get from it?
Yeah.
Anyway, again, it's on us.
It's on us. Because now, if I say peace and blessings, Black God, hey, that same person might change his mind.
Change everything.
Change everything. He
Yeah,
might have
man.
had a different intent, but be like, "What you mean, Black God?" Or something like that, right? So now
Right.
I'm about to trick you into high elevating with me.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think it's a trick, and I think it is once you give them the highest point, a highest elevation. What it is contagious.
Right.
You give them that contagion that's there. You know, it becomes a viral load. Once you give somebody some goodness,
Yeah.
and it's like, how can they give you anything back without feeling something
Correct.
on the inside of them? Man, I just gave you a whole bunch of love, and it was evident.
Yeah.
You know, and whatever else you got going on, that's on you.
Right.
So when you point that to them and give them that position, then that's their joint.
One more thing.
Hey, yeah, go.
Guess what?
Right.
Well, it's the law of the universe.
Yeah.
So check this out. We sometimes don't give our best to others because our best is to be our best, do our best, be
Yeah.
kind. Like you said, and like you didn't want to get off track with health, right? So me
Right.
being my best, I could be able to remember what you said and be like, check this out. Everything that we do is health because our mindset, the way that we are able to like be appreciative of healthy moments is health.
That's right.
So I'm learning from you. That's healthy learning.
Yeah.
You're learning from me. That's health, right? Because everything is our health.
That's right.
If I could
Everything.
get physically fit, but then be mean mugging everybody, did it matter that I got my body physically fit?
Yeah, your mentality is done. You mentally broken.
Yeah.
As well as spiritual.
Yeah. So all of the good that we could give to ourselves, which we're able to give more good to others.
Mm-hmm.
So that I was saying that if we take any time not being our best and be like, I don't mess with him, right?
Yeah.
Man, I don't get down with dude. Well, then now we want to pick when other people should be the best for us.
Right.
If we're always our best, then everybody always be their best to us. And then I say, why I ain't get that contract? Oh, you thought you could beat man, your boy, I slap him in the you thought you could do that, and you thought it wouldn't have no effect on you getting the contract.
Consequences, right.
The contract, the universe is like, well, bro, you don't always be your best. So they should give you favor for the contract. Like you borderline cocky, nah.
Because the truth is favor ain't fair.
Right.
It's just favor.
It's just favor.
You know, and it's
but you create the favor yourself.
But again, like we started in the beginning, we talked about manifestation.
Yeah.
And the manifestation is what we put out. You know, I'm a firm believer in the law of reciprocity.
Yeah.
Right. Whatsoever we sow, so shall we also reap.
Correct.
You know, and the thing about sowing and reaping is that if I plant a apple seed, what do I get back?
An apple.
No. You get a whole tree
Oh, oh, it multiplied.
over and over and over and over and over. So imagine if I sow discord, I'm gonna continuously get discord until I chop that discord tree down.
Right. Well, check this out. Imagine then if you so decided that everything you do works like that. So I decide that this interview works like that.
Yeah,
So now I could get it posted on Facebook. I get
yeah,
it posted on Instagram. I get it posted on TikTok. I get
yeah.
it posted on YouTube. So now my words are a seed that we're planting into other people.
Mhm.
And then so you know what you say, well, we should sprinkle a little bit of water on that seed. Well,
And
you know what?
cultivate.
What if
Yeah.
I knew that I was doing was the right thing? Then now I decide that, you know what? Let's put some water.
Hmm.
Let's put some money behind the interview.
Exactly.
If I planted a good seed, then I believe first that it's a good seed. Then I say, well, let me sprinkle some money on it,
Put
or
a little.
water on it first. But then I want to, they're not blowing me up.
Yeah,
What if
that's
you didn't
fertilizer.
decide to blow you
That's
up?
right.
Yeah,
That's the fertilizer. That's
yeah,
the water. That's the food and the nutrients
yeah,
that those visions need.
yeah.
You know, that's what I used to have a little garden back here, and man, it taught me so much. The simplistic uh nature of a garden.
Right,
You know, I planted peppers and tomatoes and squash and chayote. Here it's melon. We call it melon here,
right,
which completely took over. But it provided a phenomenal harvest. But I went back there and I nurtured it.
right,
I would go back there every day. And you hear people talk about, um, yeah, you got to go back there and talk to your plants.
right,
And I used to have music playing.
right.
Make sure they got enough sun, enough water, enough fertilizer. If you look up there, well, that's somewhere right here. I got some fertilizer right there still. Just different things. Again, it was me taking the time to be positive about my garden,
Right.
to have the nurturing go forth. And guess what happened?
Whatever.
When with people, I would talk about my garden, and people would come, how's the garden going? Or every time somebody would come, they would be like, hey, let's go back and see the garden. And what they were doing is they were blessing the garden with their energy, with their presence, with their spirit. And it was great situation. Hurricane came and knocked that through, but nevertheless,
You needed to learn
go
that
drink.
lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because whatever every lesson you learn is something that you could use.
That's
Well,
it.
you know what? Well, you know what? I ain't got a lot of time here, right?
Right.
I told you earlier the thing that our life is about as long as the water drops. So
Bloop.
you know what? I need to use that then as a lesson. You know what? Let me get that.
Yeah.
Right. And then I say, how could I break that down and use it for something? Well, your mind, I said, there's a guy, his name Dr. Joe Dispenza. He says that
Oh,
the mind,
my guy.
the body is the unconscious mind.
Yes, sir.
So your mind thought I should spend my energy thinking beauty for this garden.
Yeah.
So your body followed you, watered it.
That's it.
Your body followed you and went and
That's
got mulch. Your body followed you and made it beautiful. Guess what? Then now it became some living thing. And guess what you did? Told other people about it. Man,
That's right.
Come check out what I got.
Yeah.
I used my mind to think of something and I created and come back and see my creation.
And not only told him, man, I was just sharing all the product. It's like, hey, take this, take that. No, because I was proud of what, I had put in the ground. I was proud of what came out of the ground.
Right.
It was just an elating situation for me.
Right. And now I start thinking, look at me. I'm always thinking to make myself proud, to multiply. So now I'm gonna think, well, that's just me then.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I make everything multiply. I sprinkle some in the backyard and it multiplied. And then now it became a living thing and people came to my physical house because of something I created in my mind. But you know what? The world needs some help. You know what? I might as well do that for everything. And
Sprinkle a little bit.
a little bit on everything.
Be that sprinkle.
Why not? Oh, what I say, man.
Sprinkle me, man.
One of these days, it could be today. You can say for 5 minutes a day, I'm gonna do something in the garden.
Well, why not?
See what I'm saying?
Get it done.
It's our choice.
Get it done.
Yeah.
But look, man, I appreciate you for coming on. Guys, I'm gonna have him on again. There's this beautiful situation that the brother got going on in raising his oldest boy in Larizi. And I really, really want to have him come through. It's about the blended family as well as co-parenting at its best. It is so inspirational, and I want to have him on. I want to have his wife on, Cheryl. Shout out to Cheryl, beautiful soul. His ex-wife, which is his oldest son's mother, and Larizi. You know, again, that special kid that we talked about. Well, that I talked about earlier. That is going to happen. That's another one of these shows that is so necessary for the ears and the eyes of those of you that are out here looking, watching, and wanting to be a part of something that will bless your lives.
Consider it done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if you haven't already done so, I want you guys to go ahead and take the time out and subscribe, like, and hit that bell notification to tune in to my YouTube channel. You could also go to, if you look down right at the right side of the corner, you can see all of my social platforms that I'm on, and the tag, which is the EGMJ journey. That's for everything, as well as if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any ideas, any thoughts on shows, some things that you want to hear and or see, you can go to egmyjourney@gmail.com. And that'll be about it for us. We're going to get up out of this joint because we've had a great time. Now, Rasheed might have to come back on and be a constant, man, because we got a lot to talk about, even more than we've already talked about. And, you know, we kind of, he mentioned to me earlier that he wants to, well,
I want to say one last thing.
Go.
All right, check this out. So this is going to take me like 1 minute.
No, go ahead. You got it.
Like me speaking this way, I've never spoken. My son Kyrie was telling me today, go speak, go speak, go speak. I've been holding back speaking because I was afraid I get on the thing and just go with all of my positive stuff. Like I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? Like floating on water with it. And guess what? Well, you brought it out of me. Where that now I've become the official Mr. Super Fantastic because I've trained my mind to think that the only thing that's impossible is the fact that I think that something is impossible.
That's it.
So thank you for rebirthing me.
Hey, man, we're going back out. That's it. That is it. My brother, a very, very eloquent brother and a great friend of mine. You know, I don't call too many people friends. If you hear on here, I have called some people friends, but that's because I've only had my friends on. You know, my friends and my sister and my wife, you know, which one of my best friends. At any rate, guys, we want to thank you for joining us. I want you to keep your deuces crooked. Peace.
Peace.